everyone. This is a video on how to make a medical mask. Something like this. Or you can leave it unembroidered and just make one of these. It's made in the hoop, so come join me for the fun of making some medical masks. Okay, to make this you will need 2 squares of 10-inch by 10-inch cotton. It will need to be 100% cotton. Since we're making this for a medical reason, it will need to be fabric that can be easily washed and sanitized. I tried to get some really nice cotton, but whatever you got on hand will probably work. So 10 by 10, and you'll need 2 pieces. I chose those cute little pieces right there. You will also need your 240 by 150 hoop. Let me turn that around so you can see the measurements. This is my magnetic hoop, but any hoop that you've got will work. I love this one because the magnets are so easy. A piece of tearaway stabilizer, okay, a few pins because you're going to have to press it and pin it in place. And you will need 2 pieces of 1/4 inch elastic, or you can go with thinner and cut into 6-inch lengths for going around your ears. So let's get started. What we're going to make is this mask with the elastics that go around the ears, and we're going to take our supplies and help you step by step to make this into this. All right, so we're going to start by making some pleats. You're going to take your fabric, and I've got a ruler, and I'm going to measure down 2 inches. I don't like to worry about taking fabric chalk off or anything, so I'm just going to use some pins, but you can get your fabric pencil, one that washes off, and draw a 2-inch line. Okay, then we're going to fold it at that line, and we're going to press it. And of course, I don't own any pins that don't have plastic heads, so we'll take them out. Going to give it a press. We want to put our pleats in before we go to our embroidery machine because it will just make it easier. So now you want a 3/4 inch pleat. So you're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure the depth of the pleat to be 3/4 inch. So I'm talking about this is folded over 3/4 of an inch. Then you're going to pin that in place. After you've got it pinned, you want to take it and press that with your iron. If you've got plastic heads like me, miss the heads. All right. Okay. I like to take my pins out and move them down so they'll hold the pleat while I work with others. Okay. There you go. Now you got your first one. Now measure up 1 inch. Draw another line if you want to. Fold it at the pins or at your line. Okay, and we're going to press it again. You don't have to have 3 pleats, but they typically do have 3 pleats. Get those pleats in really good because it just makes it easier to work. So we're going to do a 3rd pleat. 3 is all you need. Fold it again at the line. I try to make sure my line is Sides are squared up, so my line is definitely straight. Hit that pleat again. All right. Fold that end out, and we're going to make that pleat 3/4 inch. Again, I'm just going to pin those pleats there so that when I'm working at the embroidery machine, they don't come, you know, loose and flop around. So, but you do need your edges to be free. When you're done, you should have a 10" by 5.5" mask. It can be a little longer if it turns out, or a little bit longer this way, a little wider. But at least 5.5 for getting it onto the embroidery machine. Now you're going to repeat that for the back side of the fabric. Do the 3 pleats. I will do that off camera and catch up with you in a little bit. Okay, we've got our fabric pressed, both sides with the pleats in them. And then I went ahead and hooped my stabilizer in my 240 by 150 hoop. And now we're going to go to our machine. So go ahead and load the design and let's go there. All right, so now we're ready to go to our machine. You can go ahead and load your thread. Use whatever color you want. Something that matches your fabric is probably a good idea. I chose black so that you can see what's going on, and we're going to load the design. So of course go in there however your machine works and pick the medical mask design. I'll have to get it on the right hoop. Make sure that it is centered. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to stitch the outline or the placement area for your mask. Once that is placed, we want to go ahead and stitch the lines for where we're putting our elastic. So first thing we want to do is lay our fabric over this and make sure that it's centered as best as you can with that center pleat over it, and that it's covering that line with plenty of hangover. If you find you have a little trouble with hangover when you cut your fabric, go ahead and cut it like 11 inches instead of 10 by 10. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of tape and hold it in place. I leave the pins in because they can hold the pleats, and I'm not sewing in that middle area, so my needle definitely will not get caught in that. So we're okay to do that. The fabric does not need to be tight. It is a medical mask, so there's going to be need to be some give. So we're just going to tape it down well. There you go. I tried to get the pleats taped down, and I also try to use my pointer as it sews. First thing it's going to do is tack this top piece down. I'm going to take my pointer and I'm going to lay it on that pleat and just make sure that it goes by. You really don't have to, but I hate it to get messed up. And when it comes up this direction, try to make sure my pleats stay down underneath my needle. Right, now that that's tacked in place, it's going to sew the lines where we are going to put the elastic. So the trick is to just put a little bit over the end of the elastic, not a whole lot of the end, but just a tip. And then you're going to make sure that elastic covers the placement line. Okay? Then you're going to make sure that you don't flip it over like that, but that you lay it down so that when you're using it, so don't, be sure not to twist your elastic is what I'm trying to say. All right, so we're going to do the other one so you can have a close-up of how this works. So take your tape, put it on just a little bit of that, and you're going to cover and make your elastic go past the line. So cover your line, tape it down, and then you don't want to twist it. You want to make sure that it's laying, get it flat like that, all right? So then get your piece of tape for the other side, put it on the end, make sure it's over the line as best you can, not too much over the line. This is what holds it on the ear. And then you can start it sewing. All right, now you're ready for your last step. Elastic so it stays out of the way. Now, when you lay your back on, you want the pleats going the same direction as the front. So make sure that your pleats are not that going the same direction. Line them up as best you can to each other and lay that back so that it covers the front completely. Start over. This last step is to sew the back onto the front. All right, you're done. Now we're going to take it off the machine and clean it up. Once you got it cleaned up, you're going to trim it to a 1/4 inch around and turn it inside out and sew that little gap closed, and then you will have this, a medical mask.